Okay, let's start.
Okay, so let's start. So, Josh, sit down. We start. Ki hamamon ve'ashirut. Yeah. Okay. But does it have it there?
Live. Estoy en el shoot live. Bene.
Okay, you have it, Josh? Samech Het,
Claro.
68.
68.
Okay. Okay, Eric, shall we go?
Yeah.
Ki hamamon, you can start recording. Ki hamamon ve'ashirut hi bechinat homa. So we say like this, the mammon and wealth is like a wall, just like a home or a wall protects a person, so too does the money that he has. It's a protection for the person. Ahora, כמו שכתוב, הון עשיר, קריית עוזו וכחומה נשגבה. The wealth of a rich person is like his strength. וכחומה נשגבה, and a protective. It's not only a wall; it's a high protective wall, which means that it's very difficult for anybody that wants to do him harm to get over that wall because it's very, very high. And on the contrary, anger takes down that wall, that protection. It's a behina. It's not that it's a wall. Obviously, you've understood that, I guess. It means that it's a behina of a wall, of a protection. So when a person gets angry, it's as if you take down the walls of your home and you can get all type of undesirables walking in and doing you harm. Let's go on. כמו שכתוב, עיר פרוצה, אין חומה, איש אשר אין מעצר ברוחו. The pasuk teaches you here, it's a pasuk also too, I guess, in Mishle. The pasuk says like this, in the same way that a pirza is a crack, or when you take down part of the wall, when you destroy part of the wall, we're talking about the walls of the city, yeah? Motira ota bilti mugenet means it leaves the city without any protection because the thieves can come in now, or the enemy, and do you harm. So too, a person that flies off the handle at every chance and doesn't have any patience, a person that gets angry very quickly is only harming himself, just like when you put down the walls to the city and the enemy can come and do you harm. So there is an enemy lurking, waiting in the Yetzer Hara so that you lose your temper and then he can come and really do you harm. So too a person has no patience, which means that he doesn't know at the correct time when to be patient and not to get angry. He's left, in other words, without any protection. That's what it means. So you see from here that wealth and anger are parallel subjects because they are both compared to a homa. Wealth is compared to a homa that protects it, protects the city, protects you, and anger is a lack of a wall. Means the wall now can be taken down, and therefore the enemy can come and do you harm. Okay, let's go on. The Baal Davar is a Yetzer Hara or the Sitra Hara. When he sees that Hashem is sending you money in your direction, which, as we said, is like a wall that comes to protect you. He comes and he turns this into anger. שמזמין לו דבר לכעוס, he makes sure that you have something that you're going to get upset about. ונתקלקל בחינת החומה. And now, you don't have this protection anymore. על ידי הכעס, because you're going to lose your temper. And all the harm that is lurking, waiting outside for you to lose your temper, can now come in and do you harm. כי הכעס והממון הם בחינה אחת, as we said, that כעס and ממון is all one and the same thing. בשורש ההשתלשלות כנ"ל, before it comes down, that is. ועל כן, בקל מהפך לו השתלשלו שפע של ממון, שהוא בחינת חומה, so with great ease, the יצר הרע can spoil that protection that you have. לכעס, into anger, שהוא הפך החומה, which is the exact opposite of what this protective wall can afford you. ועושה לו מחומה, and instead, it's like a play on words. Homa in Hebrew means a wall, means protection. Money is protection. Hema in Hebrew means anger. When a person loses his patience and he gets angry, so then instead of a homa, he has hema, he has anger, which means there's a vav missing there, which means there's a crack in the wall through which the enemy, in this case the Yetzer Hara, can come in and spoil your life. Spoil your life and spoil your parnasa as well. ועושה לו מחומה חמה שמהפך הממון לכעס. It changes this great opportunity of winning the lottery, because don't forget, we're not talking about working hard here. It has nothing to do with working money. Because you see a lot of people have a lot of money and they don't work hard at all. In fact, some people make money without working at all. There are some people, unfortunately, that we work a lot, but we don't get anywhere. And the reason is this, because we convert the Homa, the bracha that Hashem gives us, and we make it into Hema. We take away the Vav, and instead of being a protection, instead of being something that's going to make you strong, you and your family, so you weaken your parnasa, you weaken your protection, and now you're prey to, unfortunately, not just poverty, but all kinds of problems that poverty brings with it. It's a problem.
Mm.
Now, we're seeing here something very interesting, and that is that anger, you see, is a very, very important thing not to have. And yet, we don't see it written as one of the 613 mitzvot. And the question that they ask is why? Why is anger not a love? Or why is having patience not a aseh, not written in the Torah, bichlal? And the answer to that is because there are various gemarot. If you look in Masechet Shabbat, you'll find that a person that loses his temper is considered as if he's transgressing the whole Torah. Why? It's because the Gemara says there is because he's considered as he's being Oved Avodah Zarah. Why? What Avodah Zarah is something, is bowing down to idols, bowing down to money, things like that, not putting your faith in Hashem. So what has anger, losing your temper, got to do with serving idolatry? So the answer to that is very simple. And that is, why does a person get angry? Person gets angry because he's not happy. He's not happy with what? With his lot. And who gives him his lot? Hashem. So if you're not happy with your lot and you get angry, you mean you don't believe in Hashem. And that's the answer. That is why it's not one of the 613 mitzvot. It's because not only is it very important, it's as if you're transgressing the 613 mitzvot. That's the answer that they give. Okay, I'm going to carry on now.
That's a good reason to it.
What?
That's a good reason to add this interdiction.
No, because it's what they call it's a mitzvah kolelet. It has, it's not a mitzvah, it's the whole Torah.
Avodat Zarah is the same.
Yeah. So why repeat it?
You mean that's the question, because this is like Avodat Zarah.
It is Avodah Zarah.
Yeah, it's Avodat Zarah. Yeah. You are serving yourself.
No, you're not serving yourself.
No, I mean,
you're not serving Hashem. You're not serving Hashem. You're not serving yourself. Far from it. You're causing yourself the greatest disfavor. You're not serving yourself.
No, I mean not serving. No, not serving in that.
You're harming yourself.
Yeah. No, I mean
in the biggest way.
You think you are above Hashem even.
You're selfish.
No, you don't think you're above Hashem. Not at all. Nothing to do with being above Hashem.
It's egocentric.
It's not having faith. In other words, you think, say for example, Hashem, maybe there is Hashem, or maybe there isn't. But even if there is, He's made a mistake. The cards that He's given me are not, He's made a mistake. It's not for me, it's for my neighbor or somebody else, not for me. I don't deserve this. Hashem doesn't make any mistakes. If you would have faith in Hashem, you would understand that whatever Hashem gives you and whatever Hashem doesn't give you is all for your own good.
Yeah.
And you would be smart enough to understand that if you sit and you learn Torah, like we're doing now, you would eventually figure out what it is that you're doing wrong. Eventually, in some shiur or another, you're going to say, hey, you know what? That's what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm losing my temper. Maybe I'm looking at things that I shouldn't be looking at. And the Yetzer Hara tells you, it's not that. It's because your family or your parents didn't leave you any money. Or you're not that smart. You never went to university. You didn't do a degree. That's why you don't have any money. Or whatever. Or you're lazy. But the truth of it is, that's just what they call a come coco. It's not the reason. It's not the reason at all. The Yetzer Hara has you round his finger. The real reason is because you don't have faith in Hashem and you're losing your temper. Every time Hashem sends you parnasah, you're just throwing it to the garbage. Because you're turning this protective wall that you could have and you're turning it into anger. So we have to talk about it a little bit more. This is only just the introduction.
Rabbi, one point I would like to bring in and see what you can tell me about it. How does choice come into it? The person has to choose.
Choice comes because you have a choice. Say, for example, what upsets you? Tell me one thing that upsets you, because I like to give examples so that you understand me. You know what I mean? I like to know what upsets you.
Injustice.
Give me a good example. Be honest. What the heck,
I don't like injustice.
You don't like injustice.
I don't like that.
Well, let's say that you don't like when people chat in the synagogue, for example.
A good example. Yes, that's a good example. Eric.
Okay, that's a good example. I can understand where Josh is coming from. I understand where Eric is coming from because it suits your personalities. Both of you are the type of people that don't like injustice. Now I understand what Josh said. He doesn't like injustice. He figures, people should be fair. And Eric is the type of person that likes everything to be in order. People shouldn't be aggressive. People should behave properly. Respect your place, and you'll respect them. You figure, I respect them, so they should respect me. So talking in synagogue is like telling you, I don't give a hoot about you. It's like, whatever. Okay, so that's a very good reason to get upset. But now, what you've got to think is, if you lose your temper, so here you have a perfect opportunity of making a lot of money. That's what you got to look at. You can tell the person, excuse me, if you don't mind, outside the shul, or if it's injustice, you can tell him in private or whatever, so that he doesn't get embarrassed, and you tell him, look, what you've done is not right, and so, or if you can do something to correct the injustice, all the more so. We're not telling you that you don't have a right to correct the injustice. You have recourse to go to a bedin, if there is a bedin, or to tell this person to please, put him in the picture, tell him, look, I've read the shiur and so on and so forth. Talking in the shul is not good, not for you, not for me, not for Am Yisrael. Please do me a favor, don't take it badly, give him a gift or whatever, buy him I don't know, something that he likes so that he doesn't take offense and you become a friend of his and he stops talking in shul. Supposing that would be the best way. Now, we've discussed in the past, why is it that Hashem sends you this blessing in a hidden way? I mean, you have to ask yourself that question. Okay, after everything is said and done, and we're going to carry on learning, but at this point, I see it fit to explain why does Hashem do it in this way? Hashem gives you an opportunity to make money, and he says, I'm going to put a person to the test. I'm going to put him something that really bothers him. If it's justice, injustice. If it's, say, Eric, people talking in shul. And you lose your temper, and you just don't get it. You don't get the money. Why does he do it that way? So there are many reasons. I'm not going to tell you all the reasons now because that's what we're going to learn. I'm going to tell you the reason that is not written here, that I've seen somewhere else by Rabbi Nachman. And that is what I've told you before. One of the Sipurim of Rabbi Nachman in the tales is, you imagine that we are here in this world. I know we like to think we're tzaddikim. And we're tzaddikim in a way because Hashem loves us. It's true. Hashem loves you much more than anybody can love you, much more than the biggest tzaddik can love you. Hashem loves the biggest Rasha. Hashem loves Am Israel. Hashem loves humanity because we are his children. Now we like to think that we're tzaddikim. But the truth of it is, this world is an opportunity for a person to better his situation. In other words, you're here because there's something you've got to fix. Now, once you come into this world, unfortunately, you forget about that. You don't know exactly what you came to fix. Lo alenu, if a person would have, say, a near-death experience or something like that, then he would remember very quickly what he has to fix. What he came down to this world to fix that he's not doing. He would understand it very well, and that might help him a little bit, but we don't really want that type of an isayon. So what we do is we go and visit tzaddikim, we learn Torah, so to remind us, to awaken in us the neshama, so that the neshama tells you either in a dream or when you're thinking, when you're pondering, you're doing boedut or you're saying tefillah, what it is that you have to fix. Hashem sometimes also, when he sees that you're going a little bit off the derech, so he sends you nisyonot. He sends you difficulties. So that if you take it seriously, so that's going to put you in your place and you're going to understand that there's something serious that you have to fix. Otherwise, you wouldn't have this problem. Right? That's how it is. So in that sense, you can imagine why Rabbi Nachman, he uses this mashal of the king and the prince. We're all princes, and we're all have a king, a father, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Rabbi Nachman in the Sipurei Ma'asiyot, he says, the king got upset with the prince, and he sent him away. Now, the prince is in a very far-off place, and he's very poor, and he's not doing too good, because he doesn't have any money. He doesn't have anything. And the king starts getting reports, your son isn't doing too good. He's very far away. So he says, I'd like to send him some money. The problem is, to bring him back, I can't bring him back because he hasn't fixed what he has to fix. He misbehaved, this prince. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send him some money. Now the problem is, where the king is, there's no problems. But to get to the prince, there's a long way. And from the palace to the prince, there's a lot of thieves. A lot of very, very dangerous people. So if he sends him money in an open way, so the money is never going to get to the prince. So what does he do? So we said, what's the best place to hide your money? If you're going to go, say, to spend Shabbat by your in-laws or by your friend, and you don't want to bother taking the money and the jewelry and all that. So we asked, one time we said, what's the best place to put the money? If you put it in the strong box, so they know it's there. So the best place is to put it in the garbage, because nobody's going to look in the garbage. Nachon? Who's going to look in the garbage? You just have to make sure you tell your wife and your children not to throw garbage. Because even if you put it under the mattress, that's where they look, the freezer, the fridge. Those are old tricks already. They know. But the garbage, who's going to look in the garbage, you know? So what Hashem does, what the king does, is he puts, say, he takes gold, he puts it in garbage or in, say, mud or whatever, you know, something that is completely worthless and is not too pleasant to deal with. He puts it there, and every time the thieves come and they stop the caravan, they say, what are you carrying? Nothing. We just, this is, for example, just say building goods, or, you know, this is cement and tiah and mud and whatever it is, you know. So they go, well, come on, get out of here. Don't even want to see you, you know. So eventually, the gold gets to the prince. So Hashem does the same thing here. Hashem loves Emet. And according to Emet, we don't really deserve a lot because we are not really what we should be. Unfortunately, you know, we're not really what we should be. So when Hashem wants to help you, because Hashem loves what he loves, Am Israel, or people that want to be good, the love is stronger than the Emet. And that's our luck. We're in luck. Because of that, so Hashem, even though you don't really deserve it according to the Emet, he is ready to give you something you don't deserve. If he sends it to you directly, it's never going to get to you because there are so many angels that you've built with your averot that burn the whole bracha in 2 seconds. Never ever you're going to get anything from Hashem because your kitrugim, everything that you've done, all the averot that we do, and the lack of proper prayer is going to make sure that we never get anything. So what does Hashem do? He hides it in anger. He sends you an isayon, and the Yetzer Hara, what the heck? How is he going to know that? How is the Yetzer Hara going to know that if you don't get angry, you're going to get that? You're going to get money. Impossible. How is he going to know that? He's happy. He's saying, he thinks he's doing you harm. He said, Hashem gave me permission to make this person angry. You know, he's going to be late in shul. Somebody's going to be talking. You're going to do an injustice to him. And the guy thinks, you know, because of this injustice, I don't have money. Or because people are talking to shul, in shul, my tefillah isn't going up. So, shtuyot, come coco. That's not the reason. The reason is because you're going to get angry. That's the reason why you don't have money. Because you don't have faith in Hashem. Because if you had faith, you would say, Hashem wants me to be here. This is the best place for me. Injustice, people talking in shul, whatever it is, that I don't have a career, that my shoes, maybe I wore the wrong socks, one brown, one black. Why did I have to do that? Maybe my motorbike didn't start. I had to run to shul. I put on my tefillin. I don't like the way they look. Whatever it is, you know, a guy gets, you get upset. And that's the most stupid thing that you can do. Because Hashem is trying to help you. But if you don't hold on and have faith in him, so you've lost it. That's it, as simple as that. It sounds very complicated, Parnasa, but it's not at all. The only thing is, it's very difficult not to lose your temper. That's the truth of it. Very, very difficult. But that's what you have to do. If you want to have money, if you want to be rich, never lose your temper. Always smile in your face, happy, content, thank Hashem for everything. And that's the way it goes. Okay, let's go on a little bit more. Now, where are we? Because from Shamayim, when the Mammon is going to come down to this world, and we said that the Mammon and your Neshama come from the same Shoresh. Money is liquid Neshama. We have to understand why. Why is money? We know that it's very attractive. We know that we love it, We love having it. And we know we love ourselves, and we know why now. Because the money that should come to you is like your neshama. And we have to understand why, but that's the way it is. That's why we're learning this, to understand why.
No aprendimos una vez que decía Dam Domé, que cuando you have a shame, your blood is your money. ¿No habíamos aprendido algo de eso?
The dam. No, what I remember learning.
Cuando te quedaba callado, algo de eso era del dam, la sangre estaba conectado con el dinero.
Right. It purifies your blood. When a person does a avera, the blood is tainted with tumah because you've gone against the will of Hashem. So that blood stays in the system. Say, for example, a guy looked at something he shouldn't have looked, or he stole, or he did harm to somebody, he ridiculed somebody. Say, for example, right? But when you do that, your blood is not clean anymore. En español le dicen mala leche, or bad blood.
Rabbi Nachman, no?
Yeah, whatever. It's like a blood that's not clean. If you, for example, say, you know somebody that needs help, and you give him, you take, say, 100 pounds, and you go, somebody that really needs money, 100 pounds. All of a sudden, it purifies all your blood. You feel fantastic. You feel like you're on top of the world. You don't get depressed. You're on a high for the whole day or more. Why? Because your blood is clean. You feel like you have a good heart. And that's how it goes. It's not just eating things that makes the blood tameh. It's also averot. Averot have a way of penetrating into the blood and making it difficult for you to be happy when you do averot. Now, when you keep quiet, so it cleans your blood. The shame that you feel, because if you notice, when a person is embarrassed, he becomes white, and then he becomes red. So that has a way of, it's a treatment. It's the best treatment that there is for you to get a kapara. Because that makes you feel happy again, even though you've suffered ridicule, or it can also be that you see your own faults. So that, in effect, cleans the blood. Try it. We all know that it works. Unless the Yetzer Hara comes and tells you, you're not less than that guy. Answer him, because you know how to answer. So if you do that, you've lost it all. That's it. You don't get a kapara. And problem that, because poverty is a very big problem. And it's definitely not good for a Jew, because to be a Jew is expensive.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can go on the cheap. This is the Chagim and Shabbat and the whatnot, Tefillin, Arba Minim, Matzot. It's one thing after the other. Chanukah, Purim,
Jewish education.
Tzedakah.
Jewish education.
Everything is very expensive. To learn Torah, you have to sit and learn Torah a few hours a day. You need parnasah. It's pashut like that. If you have to be running after money the whole day, you can't learn Torah. It's impossible. A person can't learn Torah like that. Torah, you need money. You need some type of security. You need a wall around you so that you're not constantly being bothered to pray properly and everything. For your wife and your children. What can I tell you? It's not to have money. It's not a recipe for being a good Jew. What?
Not funny.
No, it's a very serious thing. The person should make sure that he doesn't lose his temper. At least this is why I chose this Torah. It's mamash, Hashem put it in my head that we should learn it together. There are 3 Torot here that are quite important in this sense, in the sense of parnasah and so on and so forth, and to know how to protect yourself. So, let me see, where are we holding? Who's keeping track here?
כי תחילת שורש, you were in the
כי תחילת שורש תשאלות הממון הוא מקום שהנפש בא משם בבחינת ve'elav hu noseh et nafsho. Now, I'm going to explain to you what that means. Ve'elav hu noseh et nafsho is talking about when you hire somebody. Say, for example, you need a worker, a plumber, or whoever it is that you need. And you tell him, look, I want you to come and fix, I want to put a washing machine, say, or a dishwasher, make me an extra, all the pipes that I need, can do that. So according to the Torah, you have to pay him on the day that he finishes the job. If he finished the job during the day before Shkia, you have to pay him. If it's at night, before the morning, before the Netzach Hama, you have to pay him. That's called Eschir Yom. And the mitzvah is, Beyomot iten scharo. You have to pay him. Why? Why do you have to pay him on the same day? He says because the pasuk says, Ki elav hu noseh et nafsho. So I'll tell you what that means. What that means is that he's put his life on the line for you. If he has to go outside on the window, or he could have fallen and killed himself or hurt himself. So it's not fair that you shouldn't pay him as soon as he's finished. When he finishes, you pay him. He's put himself out for you. Maybe he's even risked his life. Right? So you have to pay him. That's the pshat. That's the pshat. Now, what Rabbi Nachman is mechadesh here is a tremendous chidush. It's very deep what Rabbi Nachman says here. What he says is, I'm going to read you what the Mefarshim say, and then I'm going to explain them. I'll read in Hebrew first. Adam tzarich leshalem et haschar bazman. A person has to pay what he owes the worker in the same day, in the same 12 hours, so to speak. Not even 24 hours, day or night. You have to pay him.
Unless you have a deal, no? Le paga la fin de la semana.
Well, that's a different thing. If he's working for you the whole week, that's a different thing. But normally, if a person is what you call like a schir yom. Schir yom means a person that you've hired for the day only.
Okay.
The Torah calls that schir yom, hired for the day only. Right? So really, according to the halakha, you should pay him on the spot. That's what Hashem does. Hashem pays you every day. You work, you learn, he pays you on the day, on the spot. So you have to do the same thing. Because the lav noseh et nafsho, manual workers, usually, they put themselves on the line for you. There's always an element of risk if he has to go inside the kitchen, say, for example, to change a pipe or something. He can hurt his back, or he can. So he's done that for you, right? So you have to pay him. You can't tell him, come back next week, and then you come in, no, I don't have it, come back next week. It's pashut asur. It's very important to pay. When somebody works for you, pay him, and you're doing yourself the biggest favor. Yeah. So it says, Adam tzarich leshalem et haschar bizman mipnei shenafsho mamash teluya b'schar. So Rabbi Nachman says that the neshama of the person and his money is dependent on the other. We'll see what that means. ולכן היא מתנצל למקום של הממון. So therefore, when you pay or don't pay him, the money is a realization of his ruhniyut. Money, when you come to this world, is a way through which you can realize yourself. You can go up and get closer to Hashem in ruhniyut through the money. So this person has put his neshama on the line. He's put his life, his body. The body is the thing, a vehicle through which this person can get closer to Hashem by being in this world and correcting what he's done that's wrong and doing the right things. Now, this person has put himself out for you. He's put himself out on a limb for you. So now you have to compensate him for that, because the money that you give him will help him to realize himself in this world, to get closer to Hashem. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'll explain it to you better when I finish the Mefaresh. So that's why the pasuk says, "Noseh et nafsho." she'efshar lefaresh oto gam kemerim u'ma'alim et nafsho. When this person